Kia ora, it's Ruth here and welcome to my backyard in Christchurch. This is part 2 of doing my garden tour after being away for like 17 days from my garden. So just showing you my normal January garden tour, but kind of what things have happened since being away. I haven't been able to get into it to start doing any tidying up yet, but that's how we are. But here I am with one of my chickens. I've let her out because she is clucky. That's kind of big puffing up is showing that she's clucky. I've been having her clucky actually for probably the last 7 to 10 days. She's been clucky, and while we're away, which her house will let us know, which is great, but she hasn't been able to be broken from her cluckiness yet. So what I've done is I'm just isolating her today from the other girls, getting her out here. One chicken in the garden isn't going to do too much damage, and hopefully she gets distracted by all the bugs and all the plants and stuff so she doesn't start sitting. And I've given her a dunk in the water too. What the dunking in the water does is it cools her underbelly, because it's her underbelly that wants to keep the eggs warm. And I'm wanting to break her cluckiness because we don't have any fertile eggs, and letting a chicken just continually sit on unfertile eggs is actually a little bit cruel because they lose kind of condition. They don't eat as much, they don't drink as much, and especially in hot warm days, the sun is just starting to come out. It's not very good for chickens. So hopefully she can be distracted by our backyard and have some good time walking around. She is enjoying herself so far. So this is part 2, showing you this part of the garden. What I'll do is get up nice and close, but I'll start showing you all the flowers, which is fantastic. What I have loved is coming back and seeing all of these, but they definitely need a good pick and they're definitely a bit overgrown. But it's okay, they'll get a good picking today. In this garden here, we have our kale, which is going really well. Now, as some people have just been noticing, that kale, you don't need to pick the whole thing off, you just pick the leaves, and here actually are leaves that have ended up having little extra bits coming off them, which is quite cool, so I might get some extra little plants. And here as well, the beetroot is doing really well. Got some calendula just planted in between. This beetroot looks like it's nearly ready to be picked. And some of our bush beans. We've got a rogue kohlrabi, which is looking pretty happy, and little carrot seeds that are starting to come up, which is fantastic. And as always, weeds. Over this side, we've got our wonderful little Peter rabbit that our neighbour made us. We've got some zucchini growing, which we'll make sure don't get to marrow size. We've got a couple of zucchini plants. This is a black beauty one, and then we've got 2 yellows, which are going quite nicely. Got more bush beans with some lovely flowers. I just love the colours of these flowers. They are absolutely beautiful. And down here are some beetroot that I've grown from seed. And I've got these over to protect them from birds picking them, but also birds covering them with the mulch. Mulch is fantastic, but as it does its job, it suppresses weeds. But pea straw does not have a brain. It cannot tell the difference between a weed and a plant, so if it does get on top, it will suppress it, which means it will kill it. So having this just until they get a bit bigger really helps. And they're old seedie holders, which is pretty cool. And then here are our scarlet runners. These are the new ones that have grown from seed this year. Just to show you the difference, these are the ones that have grown from the root that we left in last year, and they're getting more and more flowers on them. I'll definitely give them a feed, but I did notice, here you go, we've got some sneaky ones down here, and they are super long, which is really exciting. I'm gonna pick these today, weigh them for shed wars, and enjoy myself some scarlet runner beans. And they don't feel too tough yet, which is fantastic. And some lovely calendula while we're at it. I just love calendula flowers. Before we go any further that way, I will take you into the glass house. This was exciting, seeing everything having grown, the tomatoes especially. Have a look at this. They are looking wonderful. Can still get in, need to do a bit of tying up. But we're starting to get some ones that are changing colour and looking amazing. Oh, there's some good cherries down here. Oh, there's even some on the ground, so I definitely need to be picking them. Look at those cherry tomatoes. They just look wonderful with all the green. But also some more lettuce trees, which aren't ideal, but you know, that's okay. That's what happens when you go away. You get trees of things that aren't meant to be trees, but we'll get there. One of my plans for December was to do some cuttings for my mother of all herbs. Haven't done that yet, but I'm going to roll that over to my January garden plan, which the January garden plan is only going to last for about 10 days. That's okay, I'll try and make it manageable, and I'll do a video of that. But here is how the mother of all herbs is going. It is going really well. Bit of grass I need to weed out, but it's loving it in here. These are the only seeds that I left while I was away, which weren't too many, and even then haven't completely been watered, so that one's going to seed. But we've got the spinach growing a little bit, some beetroot, bit of lettuce, bit of basil. These aren't looking too good at all. Same beans. This is some borage. That is a weed. which is going really well. Pull that out, and then, oh, let's just pull out that whole thing. Look, lovely weeds for that, lovely roots for that weed. And then a few Brussels sprouts, which I'll need to plant some more of. Down here is looking amazing. This is my eggplant. And I actually need to, oh, there's little spikes, which makes it really hard to show you. But look at that flower. These flowers are beautiful. What I'm trying to do is attract some more bees in here to make sure they get pollinated. This is my first time growing eggplants, which is really exciting. Oh look, the chickens just run there now. I definitely think this is helping break your cluckiness. So yeah, eggplants, haven't grown them before. I'm really quite excited. And I'm excited how fast they're growing now. I definitely left them in their little pots way too long. Now that they've actually got root room, they are a lot happier. And what I've got is one of my automatic watering systems in there. So this is the one that's solar powered, which means while I was away, I didn't really have to worry about the glass house because I knew that it was getting watered. I can show you down there, whoop, if I can get in. There is a little automatic watering, which waters when it is sunny. Down here, we've got our capsicums, which is the first time I've grown capsicums. I've tried when we first moved to Christchurch about 6-7 years ago. They didn't go too well, but it's nice. Here's some more of the same of the eggplant. And then around here are some chilies. And I've got a little red one and a bigger green one going on. And here is a cucumber. Again, oh, that one's not looking too flash. We'll pick that one off. Haven't tried growing cucumbers before. This one I think will be ready to pick. I really enjoy trying new things, growing new things, and just seeing how they go. So first time growing cucumbers. Being away, there was no cucumbers ready before we left, so it's really exciting coming back to that. And I guess we'll just see what happens, how many more we get and whether we grow them again next year. And what I've done this morning is I've just got all of these ready to plant some more seeds, because I definitely want some more seeds to go on. Now, the last few garden beds here. So behind all the scarlet runners is some more tomatoes. Now, because they're not in the glass house, they are definitely well behind the glass house ones, but they're still growing, which is good. They need a bit of a tidy up. This area here has just gone crazy. The birds have had a lot of fun. This mulch was all on the garden before we left. Now I've got as much mulch on our path as the garden, but that's okay. Down here is all our flowers, which we're just leaving. Can't really get down this path, but the bees are loving it. There's a little one now going to the borage. And we've got a wonderful kale tree which is going on. I can show you how tall it is. Just keeps going. And down here we have more beetroot and more beans on both sides. Now the last bit of the garden is again things going to seed. I thought I'd been really clever because we've got the peach tree here, and I thought this is the shadiest garden. Things will not go to seed or flower. They have. All the lettuces have in the front. Our cost lettuce is still looking okay. Our spinach at the back are kind of both and. Some are going to flower, some aren't. And our kale is getting a bit too tall. I'm still trying to learn about what to plant together and what not. Kale grows really tall, as you've seen with the other kale plants, and it doesn't need to be covered because the birds don't get it. Whereas lettuce needs to be covered because here in our backyard, all the sparrows, all the wild birds just will completely decimate it, eat it to the ground. So I need to make sure that I net them, not the kale. So I need to remember, don't plant kale and lettuce in the same garden. Now all the herbs along this fence are going pretty well. They're going to seed as well. But like, here's all the parsley. The great thing is I've got it self-sowing. Here is the tarragon. It is going crazy and it needs a good trim, because over this side, which I've actually got some corn hidden under here, you can't even see because it's going so well. Here are some sunflowers that are part of the sunflower competition. Lovely grapes from our neighbours. And here's some more ones that are actually tall enough for the sunflower competition, but haven't opened up yet. I'm really looking forward to them opening up very soon, hopefully. Our competition prize giving is on the 13th of February, so I've got just over a month until they will open. I'm sure they'll open by then and I'll be able to see how tall mine are compared to everyone else's. So in the chicken coop, I'll show you the girls quickly. There is 4 of them, of course with my 5th one out hanging out with me to keep her unclucky. Everything's going well in there. Only getting 4 eggs a day currently because of the one being clucky. They don't lay when they're clucky, but it's okay. They're all very happy. And what we did before we went away is finally get ourselves a new watering system. We were just using ice cream containers that we filled up, but they needed to be filled every day. So we got a little system where you've got the 2 drinker cups and then 25 litres, which is fantastic. So that lasts probably 2 weeks. We've been filling up weekly-ish. And look, as you can see, Oh no, I was going to say she was going to show you exactly how she drinks. It only took like less than 2 minutes probably for the girls to find it and start drinking from it. So I was like, good work. Chickens are definitely very clever. Little Miss Clucky is still very clucky. But she's just following around. At least she's not sitting. We'll see how she goes. See you later. And it's probably time for me to go too. Thank you for joining me on this bit of the garden tour. What I'll do next is I'll just show you kind of what my plan is for the rest of this month, January, and then we'll go from there. So nice seeing you again, and I'll catch you later. Ka kite!